Hello viewers, welcome to New Life Talk Show, brought to you by Authentic Global Media. I am your host, Authentic Festus, and this is going to be an amazing episode of our talk show today. Our guest today is an amazing man, full of energy and strength. He's a man I have known. He's a go-getter. Whatever he purposes to get, he will go for it. It doesn't matter the cost. Well, his life is full of challenges and much more. It's inspiring. And that's what we are having today. You don't want to miss out. Welcome to the show and let's work together. Good to have you so much in our show today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good to see you again.
Happy to see you as well, Festus.
Wonderful. Yes. Everyone is waiting to see who is this man I'm talking about. Kindly introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you, and I'm happy to be here today. My name is David Wainaina Rapando. I was born David Wainaina Wangai back in the year 1990, the month of January, dated 19th. Yes.
Awesome. David got a very touching story of his life. And we want to give him the chance to just tell us about himself. You said you were born back some years ago.
Yes.
You were born David
Wainaina
Wangai.
Yes.
How comes again it's David Wainaina Rapando?
Thank you for asking that question. I didn't know I would be Rapando. I found myself to be Rapando years later. I was born, I can't tell you exactly if I was born in Kericho or I was born in Mumias, but I found myself first as a human being in Kericho. I was probably 4 years old, or less than 4 years. So that's where I was with my mom and my grandmother. An area called Matobo in Kericho, Yangacho area. And then we relocated to Mumias, Shibale area.
Yeah.
Probably in 94 or 95, the year 94, 95. I was quite young then.
Yeah, sure.
I was born of a single mother. I have never met my father. He's somewhere in Kericho. I'm sure from this, maybe he can find me. Hello. I'll be happy to see him. So, my grandfather is Wangai. So I was named after my grandfather. And my grandmother is Wainaina.
Oh, okay.
So I was David Wainaina Wangai when I was born. Later, before I sat for my KCPE exams, my mom asked me to change my name to Rapando. Yes. In memory of my late stepfather, Frederick Rapando, who brought us, the rest of my family up, my siblings up. Yes, I was not in his life, in his time, but I knew him to be a great man. I met him maybe once or twice in his time, before he died. Yes, he died back in 2004. Yes.
Now here you're born with some different names, then there's a change of names just before you sit for your KCPE exams.
Yes, in the year 2005.
What was going through your mind when your mother requested you to change your names to a different name?
So, let's start in Mumias.
Yes.
So, Frederick Rapando met my mother while we were living in Mumias. Then my grandmother had relocated to Mumias, so it forced my mom to move to Mumias because we all were more brought up by my grandmother. Even in Kericho, she was more of the person who brought us up. So after relocating to Mumias, my mom had no alternative because it was I and my brother, my immediate brother, who born at that time. He was quite young. He was born in the year 1992. So he's very young, and he was quite sick at that time. So we moved to Mumias, and my mother met Frederick Rapando in the year 1998. In the year 1998. I remember very well meeting him back then, but I was living with my grandmother then. So Frederick Rapando and my mother sired kids. I have brothers and a sister from Frederick Rapando. And later in the year 2004, that is after our last born was born, Wesley, my stepfather died. Yes, he worked in Mumias Sugar Company. He was an electrical technician, and he died at work. Actually, he died at the hospital, St. Mary's Hospital in Mumias. But there was an accident that occurred at work that got him to be admitted in hospital. Later, he died. I wasn't there when he died. It's another chapter of the story that you'll hear about. So I wasn't there when he died, but I came back home in 2005. I actually came back in January of 2005, just before, was it January? It was January or February, either one of the 2 months, January, February of 2005. Yes.
Oh man, and the unfolding of the events in your life still at a young age are really at the same time challenging and touching. How was it like? How do you go through your primary school life with all these challenges? Because we see you in Mumias, we see you in Kericho, we see you. I mean, how was your high school? I mean, your primary school life?
To start with, I have been to more schools than the years of education I've been in school, actually. For real, I've been to almost, in primary school first. I joined kindergarten at the age of 10 years.
10 years.
That's the first time. Actually, 9 years old. That's the first time I stepped in school. I was 9 years old. I went to kindergarten. I studied only one day. Then I moved to nursery school the next day. I was smart to be in nursery school because the kids who were in kindergarten were almost 6 years, 5 years, and I was 9 years. I was older. Apart from that, I was always enthusiastic and I always wanted to learn more. So I learned well at home. I would just read other people's books. I would read advertisement posts and everything. I love picking up papers in the streets, maybe gazettes, and I would read them. So I loved reading. I realized I learned at a very young age, although I had not attended school. So I joined Mumias Sugar Complex, a brilliant, beautiful school in the heart of Mumias. I joined the school. I was there for only 2 years. I was there the first year. Actually, I did nursery, kindergarten and nursery, and class 1 in 1 year. I had to move very fast. That was a way my life had to move very fast. I was old and I was in a younger class, so I needed to really learn faster than the rest of my classmates. So the second year I joined class 2, but when I was in first term class 2, that was in 2000, I left, I ran away from home actually. I ran away from home because of reasons that my mom was first an alcoholic. My mom was an alcoholic back then. She would drink a lot. She worked in a club, and maybe out of her life and frustrations of the life that she underwent, because I can tell you, my mom is an iron lady. She has really worked hard in her life. She has done all the odd jobs you can ever think of. I believe she was the first female conductor in this country. Yes, in the year 1990, she was already, actually in the year 1991, she was already a conductor. when I was only a year old. That's why I was brought up by my grandmother because she was never there. She was already en route Bungoma, Kakamega, Kericho area. She was already on those mini buses. Yes, so in class 2 first term, I had already undergone a lot of abuse from my mom, insults, lots of beating. Mom beat me up a lot. I would not have understood. Maybe I was quite young. I feel like I was stubborn, which I believe I am. I'm quite a stubborn kid. I used to be a stubborn kid back then because I feel like I always wanted more than I had. I believe there was more than we had. We had the capability of having more. I wanted a better life. I started school late. I brought up my younger brothers. Now my immediate brother. I had another brother who came in 1995. So there were 2 kids I was bringing up, but my mom was out there working in the clubs, partying and drinking, and probably not coming home 2-3 nights. So I was the parent at home. At a very young age, I learned to cook. And all this was frustrating me, and it was quite a disturbing childhood for me. So I remember I ran away from home several times before I finally left home for good for almost 5 years. Yes.
So in class 2 now, you've moved to class 2.
Yes, first term I came back home. It was end of first term. Mwiko cooking sticks za ugali hizi kubwa unazafikiria ni apati na tuko watoto kwa nyumba, but ilikuwa ni itakuta mjike kwa mimi mwiko zimevunjika kwa nyumba nishazoea. I
hope we don't have some broken bones somewhere.
Bro, God has healed me over the years. God has healed me over the years. I have marks definitely in my body that ni marks zenye mchadudi yangu. Niko na mark hapa kwa magoti ya wembe iliingia kwa magoti usiku nikichonga pencil hivi kwa sababu nilikuwa natumia koroboi kwa nyumba na lazima nikifanya homework. Sasa nilikuwa nachongea pencil hapa tu kwa na meza. Nilikuwa na kitanda mbili hivi kwa single room. Nilikuwa nyumba ya matope. So nilikuwa nachonga pencil hapa. Ikaingia hapa wembe, ikaingia nusu, ikaingia ndani, nusu ikabaki juu. Nikavunja hii ya juu nikijaribu kutoa ya ndani ikakataa. So na nikashindwa kumwambia mamangu. Juu ningemwambia angenipiga. Alikuwa aninipiga tu. So ni mistake nimeifanya, nimejiumiza, so angenipiga. Sikumwambia, nililala asubuhi, ndio alipata damu imejaa kwa kitanda. So it's been, niliogopa mamangu sana. Nilikuwa namuogopa sana. Mpaka leo namuogopa, sitakudanganya. Namuogopa sana. So nilitoroka home
that same night.
The next day in the morning now, after nimetoka shule Friday.
Yes.
Amenitangazia vita. Saturday asubuhi niliamka 5:30 asubuhi nikaenda shule. Na nikatoka na nikaanza kutembea njia kwenda kutoka mtu mwenye anajua Mumias kwa Kamega. It is around 70 kilometers. I walked on foot. From morning nilifika Kamega saa 1 usiku.
You walked?
I was walking in kwa barabara nikifuata njia ya barabara ya gari.
From Mumias to Kakamega.
As far as I could from my mom. I wanted to be as far as possible.
Oh, well, David's story is just a reflection of what many children might be going through in the hands of their biological parents.
Yes.
And that's your biological mother.
That is my biological mother. Yes.
We got more to hear from David after this short break. Walking from Mumias to Kakamega on foot, just to be away from your biological mother, is not an easy thing. I mean, you must have felt mentally tortured, psychologically disorganized.
Definitely, I was totally disturbed mentally. I didn't have a normal childhood. I had to be a grown-up at a very young age. I had to think, I had to overthink, I had to think outside the box at a very young age. I always had to think of a way to save myself from the situation we were in. I took in the step of a mother, like I said earlier. And I was the father because there was no father at that time. Because even by the time I was leaving home, Raps was in my mom's life, but he was not actively living with us. My mom used to either meet him in the clubs out there. They would just hang out, you know. So I never had time to grow up with him or even know him in person. We probably rubbed shoulders a few times in life, okay? So I ran away from home. I was in Kakamega. Nikikulanga zile matunda za barabara na miwa. Unajua kutoka Mumias mpaka Kakamega kuna miwa mingi. Pahalu kwa barabara ziko mingi.
Sasa za wenyewe ama unanunua?
Za wenyewe, mimi sina pesa na natembea mguu tupu sasa hiyo. I'm on barefoot. I was walking barefoot.
How far is it from Mumias to Kakamega?
It's
approximately
70 kilometers.
70 kilometers.
70 kilometers, yes.
You had some shoes on your feet?
No. I was walking on foot. Kwa sababu ningechukua viatu zangu nitoke nazo kwa hiyo nyumba. Hata ingekuwa ni because unajua nilikuwa kwanza naogopa naezaenda juu nishatoroka before like 2-3 times, narudishwa home na chief, narudishwa na polisi. Mimi nishaenda mpaka polisi nikalala, nikaenda nikajipeleka polisi. Hawadhani niweke kwa cell. Juu naogopa mama yangu amenipiga kabisa. Imefika point yenye I'd rather be in the police. Polisi wakashika Mungu kumweka ndani for kalala one night, but wakanirudisha. So I was afraid hata nikitoka na viatu zangu, nilikuwa na viatu tu shule. Hata ingekuwa drama zaidi ulienda na viatu sasa you know that is even punishment nyingine. So I left my shoes at home. Nilivaa tu short na t-shirt na nikatembea. I was on foot. Nilifika Kakamega saa 1 usiku. Nikifika ingia Kakamega kutoka Mumias, the first kitu nakutana nayo ni mosque. Kuna mosque ilikuwa ni ile ya dhuhuri ile ya saa 12. Na nikifika Kakamega nakumbuka I found a good Samaritan mwenye alinipea pa kulala usiku moja. The next day very early in the morning nikaamka on Sunday, nikaanza on foot naenda Kisumu because my grandmother now alikuwa amehama Mumias, amehamia Kisumu. Now my mom ndiye anaishi hiyo that year my grandma had moved, she relocated to Kisumu. Now my mom ndiye alikuwa anaishi Mumias na my aunties, some of my aunties. So I was heading to my grandmother's place because yeye ndio alikuwa ananielewa peke yake.
Did you know where she stayed those days?
No, I knew I had a grandfather. Now, the brother to my grandfather, who is also my grandfather, he was an auctioneer. A jogi auctioneer. He was very popular in Kisumu. So I knew jogi auctioneer was in Kisumu, and anybody would tell you where jogi auctioneer is. And I walked from Kakamega to Chavakali on foot. Nilifika Chavakali, nililala kwa matanga, nilipatana matanga inaendelea usiku. Sasa hapo ndo niliingia, unajua matanga unajonga na mikoa Luya, huwezi kosa chakula. So mimi nilienda kwa matanga kukula. Intention yangu ni kuna watu nitalala hapo na nitakula. And that's what I did. Hata sikulala mpaka asubuhi. Ilifika saa 8 juu ya baridi na watu wameanza kujitoa. Mimi nikaanza kutembea kwa barabara. Kufika nikapatana na lori za mchanga hizi zinatoka usiku. Mimi nikadandia lori kanipeleka mpaka Kibos hapo hivyo kulikuwa na roadblock ya polisi. Nilikuwa nimepanda nyuma, kabidi nishuke kwa sababu wanafanya inspection, wanamulika hizo lori kuangalia mbeba nini. Nitajua kiniona hapo na mimi ni mtoto, that's an issue. Niliruka kwa roadblock, gari imesimama. Nikavuka roadblock on foot and I walked to Kisumu sasa on foot. That night I was in Kisumu at 6 in the morning. Yes. When I got to Kisumu, I had an alternative of going to jockey auctioneer, but then I thought about it. I was like, going to him means I will have to go back to my mother still. So what I did, I went straight to town. Nikaenda Kisumu town. Nikapatana kufika Kisumu town, hata sikukaa Kisumu. Si nimefika 6 around kilekea 7. Nikapatana na hizi basi zinanga Mombasa, zilikuwa zinaitwa Mombasa Raha.
Yes.
Niliingia kwa boot. Unaona sisi wanigizanga mizigo hivi kwa gari. Umefungua boot, wanaweka mabago, wanaweka magunia. Mimi niliruka tu ndani. Nikapatana na suitcase huko ndani, nikalala juu ya suitcase. That's how I got to Nairobi actually. I didn't know I was going to Nairobi. I wanted to go as far. Nilikuwa naenda Mombasa hiyo gari. Mimi nilikuwa naenda Mombasa actually. I was going to Mombasa. I wasn't going to Nairobi. I didn't know where Mombasa is, but I knew Mombasa is the farthest I can be to my mother because I knew it was south and this other side is west. So if this is how far I can be from my mother, then better. You understand? So nilikia kwa hiyo, niliruka kwa boot na nikajiseti hapo. It was hot, sometimes it's cold. Sabi engine nikiran, unasikia kajoto kingine, man inabidi ucheze tu hapo ndani nikuchukue. You know what I mean? Sina kasweta niko na kashati. But the idea is at least na feel salvation is coming.
Na tangu ule kwa matanga, umepata chakula kingine?
Kutoka kwa matanga sijakula anything. Nimetukula kwa matanga. Hivyo tu nilipanda lori, nimeshukia Kiboswa, nimevuka mguu, nimeenda mpaka Kisumu. Saa 1 asubuhi nimeona basi, mimi ndani nikaruka ndani. So hiyo basi kutoka ilifika Nairobi usiku. Nilikwenda Mombasa. Nilifika Nairobi around saa 12 ama saa 1 usiku. Na nakumbuka mimi nikijua nimefika Nairobi, sikuwa najua ni Nairobi tumefika Manini. Mimi nikiwa ndani ya basi nilisikia tu boti imefunguliwa tish. Nikajua mtu anashuka. Wakaanza kutoa, so penye nilikuwa ndio bags zilikuwa zinatolewa. Sasa ule conductor alikuwa Mwarabu, wale Waarabu wa Costa.
Akakuona.
Kutoa bag kasikia amesema Allahu Akbar chini. Unajua sasa unaonaje mtoto ndani ya buti? Sio ni jini. Mimi kabla shuke ageuke afanye watu mimi nisharuka.
Ukachomoka.
Hiyo unajua ni wapi? Ni pale Uhuru Highway. Penye saizi pale penye Neno Evangelism.
Yes. Haile Selassie.
Hapo Haile Selassie hapo. Hapo ndio basi ilikuwa imesimama kwa hiyo petrol station hapo.
Naiona.
Hapo tu ndio nimesoma inashukishia mtu. Mimi nilivuka barabara. Nilikuwa naenda mbio kwa barabara nikivuka. Nilijipata ile side ya Uhuru Park. By the time watu wako basi waangalie already ndani, mimi niko ile side nyingine ya Uhuru Park. I'm running because I knew sitaki kushikwa, naweza pigwa. You understand? And nilikuwa naogopa kupigwa all my life. Nilikuwa naogopa kupigwa sana.
How old were you that time?
Bro, that was the year 2000. Yes, that was 2000. So in the year 2000 ndio niliingia sasa kwa Nairobi town. Mimi nilikuwa hiyo side nyingine ya sasa nimeingia town, nimeenda hiyo side nyingine ya Uhuru Park. Hiyo time Neno Evangelism Center iko imejengwa huko.
And look here, as you continue, you were just in class 2.
Yes.
Mkafunga shule.
Yes.
Then on a Saturday morning, you left very early.
Yes.
All the way to Kisumu, all the way to where? Now in Nairobi.
City now. Now I'm in Nairobi City. In Nairobi City, hapo ndo nilianza life yangu ya uchokora. Mimi nikakuwa chokora Nairobi. Ilibidi nikuwe chokora Nairobi juu sasa uchokora nilikuwa nafanya yangu ilikuwa ni actually the next day after kukasa nimeenda Uhuru Park. The next day ilianza ni mimi najua sikuwa niende left ama niende right. I remember first niliamua kufuata hiyo barabara ya Mombasa Road.
Yes.
Nikaenda nayo, nilikuwa naenda tu nione. I was trying to find life by what I see. Nikiona kitu naona this is maybe hapa naweza pata help. I would walk into somewhere just hoping there is help anywhere else. I don't know anybody, I don't know anything, but I'm happy I'm away from my mother. That's the best thing. I was happy I'm away from my mother. I'm just hungry. Kwanza niko na njaa, sijakula. So hiyo asubuhi vile nilishuka town nikaanza kushika hiyo barabara. Nilijipata South C. Nikienda hivyo nikienda Nairobi West South C. Nikajipata kwa ile mosque South, kuna mosque kwa hapo South C. Hapo ndo nilienda, nikifika, nikaingia mosque, nikapewa chakula mosque around saa 7 mchana ndo nilikula. Sasa from the last time nilikula ilikuwa matanga, nimekuja kula kwa mosque almost 2 days later ndo nakula.
And today is on a Monday or Tuesday?
No, this is on Sunday usiku na Monday now, this is Monday. Sijakula kitu. Na sisikii njaa mimi sasa, hata sina kilia njaa. Unajua nakwambia ukiwa focused, akili yako ikiwa focused on something, hata kuna vitu vingine unaangi ni kama ni shida. Mimi njaa ikuanga shida kwangu. Kwa sasa mimi idea yangu ni I had a purpose to leave home and to be as far away from my mother because naona ni kama nitakufa. I'm an insult na baba yangu mwenye simjui, amekuwa akiniita majina, I've never seen this guy akiniambia huyo baba yako. So I don't know what my dad ever did to my mom. But it really caused a lot of pain to her. It hurt her very much and hiyo pain alileta kwangu in a very bad way, na ilini hurt sana in my childhood. So mosque nikapewa chakula hapo South C. Nikatoka mosque nikaanza kutembea. Juu unajua ukipea chakula wale wanakuambia sasa enda utakuja tena baadaye utafute chakula maybe, you know, if there's something else you'll come back, but you go. Na mimi ni chokora to them. I walked nikaanza kufuata, nikapata Mama Ngina Children's Home hapo mbele. That's when I saw first Mama Ngina Children's Home. Anasoma Mama Ngina, kitu ya kwanza ilifunga kichwa ni mimi najua Mama Ngina Kenyatta. Yeah, this probably is the president, he home president, you know, Kenyatta.
Yeah.
But I was scared of going in. So nikakaa hapo nje kidogo, nikaamua nirudi town. Nikafuata hiyo njia tena nikarudi mpaka town. Kurudi town, sasa nikaanza kukua chokora. Lakini nikajua mosque ni pale pazuri pa kupata chakula. So kuingia town nikajua Jamia Mosque penye iko. So hiyo area Jamia Mosque nilikuwa nashindanga mimi. Hapo ndo nilikuwa nashinda nikiomba. Sasa sikuwa nimejua kuomba, lakini nilipatana na wale mama wa street. Mmoja akaniadopt. So kazi yake ilikuwa ananichukua na nipeleka mahali na lala. Asubuhi anatuleta kwa street, atukalisha hapo. Tunaomba, tunampea pesa. Hiyo pesa ndiyo atatununulia nayo chakula. Na walikuwa wanafanya poa juu. Alikuwa angeninunulia chakula Na bado ninunulia tangu junguo nikaanza kuchange. Sasa mimi unajua kama mtu pesa hata singejua nifanye nini sana. So nilikuwa nikiomba, yeye anampea pesa, nimekaa kwa kona mimi nampelekea pesa. Alafu baadaye ananinunulia chakula, ananinunulia nguo, navaa. The next day hata ananunua tu umeletewa maji unaoga, unaona? One time I think tulienda mpaka Saizari Ruto kwa tulikana naenda na mama fulani. I was adopted in different families in the streets for a while, for almost 8 months. Until I met this man from Nation Media Group. He was a journalist. I really wish I could meet this guy again.
Oh my.
This is the man who changed my life. This guy angenipata hapo karibu na jamii because alikuwa tukanga lunch mostly. Ananipea some cash. I wish I didn't know his name. He's the one who took me to Mama Ngina actually. This guy came and asked me this day, "Wewe ungetaka nini?" I told him I just want to go to school. Alikuwa ameniuliza swali mara mbili. Now this second time he came and asked me, "Unalembo nitakanga nini?" Kama nataka tu kwenda shule. Unataka kwenda shule? Akanishika mkono akanipeleka mpaka National Center. Akaniacha hapo chini. Akaniambia ningoje hapa. Akapanda juu, akarudi. Kurudi akakuja na koligi wake mmoja. Wakanichukua drive na mimi mpaka Mama Ngina Children's Home.
Ile.
Kwa nimeenda that time. That's what I'm telling you. I saw Mama Ngina. I didn't know I was going out to Mama Ngina. I went to Mama Ngina Children's Home. I was walked into Mama Ngina Children's Home by journalists from NTV, 2 of them. And when I walked into Mama Ngina Children's Home, that's where my life changed. I got in there, it was beautiful. Watoto, the energy, I felt love, manze.
Oh, man.
It was special. No, this is 2000, around August, September, right there. So I start my life in Mama Ngina Children's Home now. I'm now a new kid in Mama Ngina. Mama Ngina kulikuwa na shule imejengwa huko ndani na Japanese walikuwa wamesponsor a school, walikuwa wamejengea watoto wale wenye hawajapata sponsorship ya kwenda shule za nje na wenye iko public school. So I used to attend that school huko tu ndani and I was very smart. I was a very smart kid. I'm sure if you went to Mama Ngina and asked them about David, actually Mama Ngina I changed my name vile niliingia. I changed my name. I was Mama Ngina ukienda unajua David Kamau. They don't know David Wainina Wangai, they don't know David Rapando, but David Kamau is there. My pictures, my portraits are there. So while I was in Mama Ngina, one day God visited me. Yes, I used to be prayerful.
Wow.
I was praying. I now learned the power of prayer because tulikuwa na more like preps jioni, tunakutana tunaomba kwa dining room, after supper tunaomba, and I loved God very much. Watu wa PCA Church South C hapo Nairobi West karibu na Moi Educational Center, hiyo PCA iko hapo. Nyinyi ni blessing, mnanijua, si ati mnijui, wananijua wale wa kitambo. They know me. Waliweza kuambia walikuja walikuwa wananikisha wanakuja wanatu bless na word. Wakaanza kutupelekanga mpaka PCA Church. Nikajua God, nikaanza kupenda God. Na God akanionyesha vision ya kwamba I was going to join a really good school. And yes, I did. So one day, 2 ladies walked into our matron's office. Actually, they came to the matron's office and then they were led to the administrator's office. Nilikuwa bado nilikuwa class yangu ile shule za nje huko. It was I think on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Nilikuwa class. And ikasikia, "David, come." Kwanza nilikuwa nataka Kamau. Nilikuwa nataka David. There was another Kamau senior. So I was just David. David, come. I went to the office. I found these 2 looking good ladies. And one was Mrs. Masharia from Allen Grove School. Yes, and the director of Allen Grove School, then Mrs. Lirangu. They walked in and they it's like walikuwa wamenikujia mimi, and they asked me a few questions, and immediately they told me I'll be joining Allen Grove School. I didn't know what Allen Grove School was, but it seemed like a really good school because henceforth I started attending school in a school bus. I was wearing a tie, I was wearing a blazer. My guy, I was looking good. I felt like now this is the person I was supposed to become. You know, I felt like God had just come. You understand?
I can feel it. This is new life. Yes. This is new life where we are meeting amazing people who God has changed their story.
Yes.
And David's story is so much life-touching.
Yes.
We don't want to break in front of the cameras. You know, in a new school.
Yes.
Get us in our next episode to get to know what really happened in David's new school. New life will be back. God bless you.